Hey everyone, this week I wanted to talk about the Haunted Mansion again, but before we do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and maybe give this video a like if you're so inclined. Alright, here we go. So if you've been to the Haunted Mansion, and if you're watching this video, I imagine you probably have, you may have noticed an interesting quirk about the ride. I'm talking about that raven that follows you around the whole ride. Oh, you didn't know about this. You know, the one that follows you here, here, and here. Well, if you didn't know about that, you're probably pretty freaked out right now. But is there really any significance to this raven? Well, sort of. You see, when the Imagineers were first designing this attraction, the idea of the ghost host, which we all know and love, wasn't totally set in stone yet. As I mentioned in my other video, the Haunted Mansion Secret Tombstones, which is a great video that you should totally check out, Walt died before the ride was finished, leaving the Imagineers with a bunch of miscellaneous ideas and nobody around to have the final say. To help with this, Imagineer Ex Atencio was brought on as the show writer to put it all together. Besides the idea of the ghost host, which made it into the finished ride, some of the other ideas included a ghost hostess, a one-eyed cat, and a talking raven. Here's Imagineer Tony Baxter discussing one idea where the dialogue would be shared between the disembodied ghost host and the raven.
And I have found very early soundtracks that have the raven as narrator. Well, it's really obnoxious. Whoever did the voicing, it was almost as though it was a human voicing a raven, so it was as though you were reading and it said, "Caw, caw, he took the coward's way out, caw." And that was the original recording that you heard at the end of the stretching room. And then my assumption is that the raven was to narrate the rest of the way through. Well, fortunately they got Paul Frees, who became the voice of the ghost host and narrates through the show. And it's our belief that he's also kind of the Phantom of the Manor.
Here's an early clip of the Raven voiced by Eleanor Audley, who also did the voice of Madame Leota. Needless to say, this did not make it into the ride.
Forevermore, forevermore, beware the raven, evermore.
I think they made the right move, and if you know Edgar Allan Poe, it's fairly apparent that this raven took heavy influence from his famous poem. I guess they liked the idea so much that it became ingrained in the ride even after its narration was discarded. But if all this is true and the raven was going to narrate, why does it appear so late in the ride? Well, in Disney World it takes a good 6 minutes or so until you see it for the first time, but in Disneyland, the ride is a little bit shorter and this is one of the first things to happen once you board the Dune Buggy. There's also significant evidence that the raven would have appeared earlier in the ride, and for some reason or another, it just never made it in. Fun fact, there's this really cheesy promotional record that was made for the attraction in the 60s called The Story and Song of the Haunted Mansion. It's pretty cheesy, but it's a good listen, so you can go check it out. In the record, the raven is said to be possessed by a spirit in search of a new body to better itself. So now you know, and you can impress all your friends and family about this wonderful fact while you're waiting in line for this ride. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments what's your favorite Disney theme park Easter egg. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all a little later.